Yo, what's up, everybody? It's the
Hey, what's up, folks?
The Firelands Podcast. I'm here with Jason. I'm TJ, and we're gonna
What's up?
talk some current events tonight. I think sounds like a good idea, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I mean, why not? Because there's a whole lot of fucking shit going on right now,
Yeah,
and it's been a couple weeks. So I mean, we haven't
Yeah.
really talked about the craziness and everything else that's going on.
uh-huh.
So, but how was your holiday, dude?
I was pretty good. I mean, it went. Yeah, I mean, it went as good as to be expected. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
it could always, it could always be, could always been better. You know what I mean? We're in the midst of COVID, so a lot of everything was shut down. Fucking, you couldn't go nowhere and do nothing. I mean, normally we have a big party. We didn't have a big party this year. I don't know. It
Right.
was
That's
it
what
was
I thought, man. I'm
strange.
like, you guys usually throw down on the grill and
Oh
and
yeah,
have a huge get together there, don't you?
yeah. We normally do a lot of shit. You know what I mean? No, the pool hole filled up with 14 inches of water, so we had to pump that out yesterday. And we're just letting it dry. We're letting it dry out now. But the good thing is all the work is done. You just gotta put the base in and put the walls up, and it's good to go.
And that's after you put sand in there too, yet, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna use a 1/2 inch dowel board, foam board in the bottom of it instead of sand, so I don't have to worry about it ever washing out or anything like that.
Right.
So the base
Right
is
on.
the base is. I mean, I just got to pull the edges where it rained, where it kind of sunk. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? I just have to pull
Yeah.
the edges back into the center and smooth it out. Me and my brother are gonna do that tomorrow. Probably set up the base tomorrow, and most likely put the walls up and the liner in Tuesday and start filling it up. So
Hell yeah, dude.
all the hard
Hell
work
yeah.
is
I know
done.
that you guys, right, man. I mean, you guys broke your backs for what, about 2 weeks getting all that dirt out of there and all that shit. And did you get
Not
rid of any of that?
back. It wasn't backs. That you add that was plural. Back. I broke my back. my brother,
Okay.
my brother and
Okay.
Jeremy didn't. I think Jeremy moved 1 wheelbarrow of dirt. My brother moved about 6, and then I did the other 8 tons of dirt.
How much beer and food did you feed them for them
I
in
just
less than a dozen wheelbarrow loads?
I'm not gonna specify exactly what we did, but yeah, we did something for them. But it
Right
is
on.
what it is. There's nothing that can be done about it.
Yeah. Right.
But
Yeah.
I've got it's just one of those scenarios where if it could go wrong, it would go wrong. You know what I mean? And it has gone wrong on this project. So not only am I putting a pool in, but I'm not just putting a pool up. I'm digging. It's halfway submerged in the ground. I have to level my entire backyard because my backyard, I've been having water problems for the last like 4 or 5 years, to where everyone's yard is draining into my yard, and it's like
Right.
it's between 4 and 6 inches in my backyard all the time of water. If
Wow.
we get a couple of days of rain where it just like a fall rain, you know, when it rains and rains and rains, the whole fucking backyard is nothing but water. So it's not just as simple as digging a hole and putting a pool in. We had to dig a hole, level the yard out so everything drains right. So the rain the other day was kind of nice because we got to see that all of my grading and stuff is actually working properly. The drain still is working good. That we got the French drain unclogged. So once the pool goes in, once we put the walls up and I start to backfill and I'll be able to put my drain tile back in, everything will work perfect like it used to all the years my grandparents lived here. So, you know, it's not a scenario, and, you know, I'm doing all this like working 10 hours a day, you know what I mean? So I got, you know, not only have I got that to do, but I've also got to work every day.
You got a job.
I mean? Yeah, I got a job I have to do, so it's kind of tough. But, you know, I'm getting it done little by little by myself. You know, so but we're hoping to be swimming this weekend. That's what it's kind of looking like. I probably should have just waited until this weekend to dig the hole. I should have, you know, I asked my father-in-law to do it, and it's been a long time since he's operated a piece of equipment, and he's older. You know what I mean? Dave's older. I mean, he's still. I mean, the hole is perfect. I mean, he did a great job. My brother drew the lines a little too small. It was about 6 inches in diameter, too small. That's what the pool would be in right now if it wasn't for that. So I had to go through.
Damn, so you had to go around and scrape that fucking edge to make up for that 6 inches that it was off.
And
because you just can't take 6 inches out on one side.
Yeah, you go down. Like 8 inches, and the rest of it, of the 2 feet, is fucking clay. And I don't know if you've ever, past the clay is the limestone. But if you've ever, I don't know if you've ever tried to dig in clay with a shovel before.
That's all we have here in Indiana, bro. Just nothing but clay. We don't have limestone, but you can't even get a fucking shovel in the ground.
Right.
Here, bro.
So I used a jackhammer. I went to Universal Equipment. There's a plug for Universal Equipment. My cousin's rental business. I went and rented an electric jackhammer with an 8-inch spade and just started, and I just chipped 6 inches all the way around, and I let it fall into the hole, and then it rained. It rained as soon as I got the last stroke. It started pouring down rain, and I'm like, fuck. So I put everything in there. Mud. So yeah, and then it wasn't too bad, and then Friday it fucking rained all night, all afternoon, all night, and I'd say between 12 and 14 inches of water in that hole. I had to pump it all out. So it was like when you step in it, you're sinking like down 6 inches.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm just counterproductive. So now the good thing about it is the clay is all super soft. It's almost dry. Tomorrow I'm going to run a rototiller in it, plane the bottom down, make it real nice and flat. We're going to lay my bricks down for my pillars. Lay the coping in and set the walls up. So it's actually a blessing in disguise. So,
right on.
I mean, it sucked.
Right on.
It sucks. You know, Jennifer wants her pool up, and I agree. I have not set the sauna up, but I do have the sauna is in the barn. I got a sauna now too. My buddy hooked me up with a really nice sauna, man. Really nice sauna.
I saw that. So where's that going to go? Is that going to go in the back patio or what?
I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet. I mean, my bedroom is quite big. I was thinking I might put it in my bedroom because I have a big wall there I have a dartboard in there. I put it in there because I don't know why I put it in there, but the kids bought me an arcade-style dartboard for Christmas, and I put it in there. I don't know why I put it in there. I think it was Jennifer started to put the t-shirt business out there, so I wanted to give her more room. So that's why I put it out there. But now I think I'm going to move it to another spot, and I think I'm going to put the sauna in there, and I'm gonna kind of not make it permanent, but clad the outside of it with tongue and groove barn siding and kind of make it look you know like part of the room, you know what I mean? So you know, I'm looking forward to using it because of its health benefits, you know what I mean? It's supposed to help with inflammation, and I have a lot of inflammation in my shoulders, and you know, from doing what I do for a living. So I'm looking forward to using that. It's and for free. It's really nice. I mean, it's never.
Oh, dude, yeah, right.
Some dude that I know has got a buddy that bought it, used it like 3 times, and he gave it to him for $100. It sat in his storage unit, never used. And then he cleaned out a storage unit, gave it to my cousin. My cousin put it in his basement. They set it up, used it 3 times, and then they packed it up, and then it went to another storage unit. So I'm like, if you're getting rid of that, I'll take it. I'll use the shit out of that. You know what I mean? So it's really, really nice. I was surprised. It's all redwood on the inside. It's beautiful, nice. So I just don't like the way the outside of it looks. I'm not a fan of the outside of it. But I'll fix that with some. I'll fix it up with some nice Dutch lap or something it'll be cool. I'll show you pictures of it when it's finished.
Yeah. You have to do that, man. Yeah, they Jalen Smith from the Dallas Cowboys is a Fort Wayne native. He just opened up a cryotherapy center here in Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking all about it. I've got a couple other guys that were there in the grand opening and have been going ever since. Mm-hmm. And they're like, dude, you have to do it. Spend an entire day, 10, 11, 12-hour day in a 90-degree heat, and then go sit and be fogged and misted with minus 200 degrees. It is the best feeling in the world, and your joints are they feel amazing.
Well,
I'm like, God, that sounds so good, man.
The super cold and the super hot, like with the sauna or cryotherapy, what it does is it causes a rush of white blood cells to inflamed areas. So,
you
know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Which will, like, in turn, make that shit feel better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does everything for your circulatory system. Circulation, everything. It's freaking awesome. And the inflammation, of course, as well as I do, the repetitive movement, that injuries that we have that are just always nagging. Mm-hmm. Yours are way worse than mine, thankfully. But I do have a really, really bad left shoulder.
I got a jump start on you. I got a jump start on you on that injury. So. Just give it some time. You'll be in my spot before you know it. You'll be feeling like me before you know it.
Back in the day when it was my everyday gig, I had right shoulder problems and had a lot of tendonitis in my right hand and my towel hand. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I don't do it every day. I really, really don't. Now this week I'm probably going to feel it because I've got 16 horizon banks to do in 5 different counties.
Wow.
And it's all windows. So, I know that after this week, it's gonna hamper again, but I don't have to do it on a daily basis like you do, thankfully. I'm not out washing windows every single freaking day, thankfully. I'd like to be, but we're not there. I mean, we got a lot of window business, don't get me wrong, but
right. Well, that's enough of that. That's enough. What is this? What is this? The Squeegee Life podcast? No, this is the Firelands podcast.
Yes, this isn't Squeegee Life or the Window Cleaner Radio, none of that shit. So, but yeah, dude. I mean, so I'm really looking forward to
hello, Jackie.
To checking that place out. Yeah, shout out to everybody. Jason Lehman's in here. Henry Drees, what's up, Henry? Jackie Hicks is in.
Jackie.
Right, Samantha Eichelberger is in. So thanks for stopping by. Small group today. I think a lot of people are literally just doing shit. Everybody was doing stuff this weekend, man.
Yeah.
It was really good to see. We went out to the drive-in theater yesterday and took the kids to go watch Gremlins and Goonies. It was a double feature show.
Ain't that weird how drive-ins I have now resorted to showing older films? Like we go to one in Oregon. It's like maybe 30, 40 minutes away from here, and they're showing all old movies. They're not showing, because the Hollywood has pretty much come to a standstill, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so there's nothing coming in. That's it. Yep. Yeah. And that's what's really cool because they're reducing the prices.
Yeah.
So, like when we were there yesterday, there's people like, no, this is our first time ever doing this. And I'm like, you guys are in your 40s. You've never been to a drive-in theater before? So it was a good time. The kids, including Willow, our 4-year-old, was up until 2:30 in the morning.
Awesome.
But happily I woke them up at 11 o'clock this morning, so they slept and they let me sleep, and so it's good.
That's good.
And then we turned right around and went back up to Chain of Lakes State Park today, and it's like 7 lakes that are all combined, and we rented a canoe and probably canoed 1.5 miles or 2 miles down some channels and shit, and let the kids swim and grubbed out and then came home, man. So it was a really good day. Just get out, because as well as I do, when we get swamped in our business and our work.
Yeah.
You know, you just have to pause everything, and you have to get the family out and spend some quality time
It's
together.
kind of what we did.
So
It's kind of what we did yesterday. My Uncle Thornton passed away in March, and of course, with everything going on, we couldn't have a funeral for him. Or April, I'm sorry.
right.
We couldn't have a funeral for him, so we celebrated his life yesterday, and that was cool getting together with the family. It's been a long time since I've seen everybody, the whole family together. It was kind of nice. But yeah, sometimes you just got to stop and smell the roses. There's just so much going on nowadays. It's kind of hard to focus on the little things at times. You know what I mean? So it's kind of nice to take a pause and just enjoy life for a second. I sat on the tailgate of my truck with my cousin Brian, and we smoked a cigar and fucking drank a couple of beers and just watched the sunset and just bullshit about whatever.
Nice.
You know what I mean? It was nice. It was nice. Jennifer and I had a great time together last night. We just had a good time. It was nice. It's good to
Cool,
pause. Man. You know what I mean? So
right.
I get that sentiment what you're saying. I'm picking up what you're putting down for sure.
Now, so have you felt anything with this Mercury retrograde, dude? I mean, because have you felt the stupid stress and the stupidness that comes with everything, as far as everything just basically being a shit show from the time that it arrives until the time that it leaves?
Yeah.
Because for me, it's been terrible.
Yeah.
It's been terrible emotionally, things around just as a whole, me waking up every day. And here's the thing, in my early days, I wasn't really one who really subscribed to it. But over like the last 3 or 4 years, I've become way more spiritual in what I'm doing. And it's really stupid of me to wait until now, because I know so many people who are so spiritual. So now I'm kind of taking in a lot of that. Dude, and Mercury retrograde's really fucked me up this last time. So I'm happy to be out of it. There is light at the end of the tunnel. Life is really, really great right now. So, I'm happy for it to be over with. But on top of that, though, I mean, it did not help anybody at all with everything that was going on between COVID, the mask now being mandatory in some states. Now people are fighting over who's wearing them, who's not. Canned food, water, we're experiencing shortages again. I can't get printer ink to save my freaking life, dude. I can't find printer ink anywhere. You can't even buy printers anywhere.
Right. It's really, and I kind of made a post on my personal page about this today. I just think everybody should try and be mindful of your situation and your surroundings, because there's no question that we are experiencing a giant thrust in the social setting of America right now. We're teetering on the edge of absolute bedlam. There's shortages of food, water, like you said, printer ink, anything like manufacturing wise. We are really, I mean, like Jackie said, coins are not being. I mean, there's coin shortages everywhere.
Everywhere, dude.
And I guess, what's in, that kind of feeds the fire of the conspiracies that are rampant around topics like this, especially considering, they're like the elimination of paper currency, going all electronic. I mean, that's just feeding the fire. And like you said, with all of this, like Mercury being in retrograde, all that stuff, I just feel like we're getting ready, we're about to boil over. You know what I mean? It is what it looks like to me. Like the pot's boiling over.
Yeah. I mean, I think that this last couple of weeks of stretch through the retrograde. I mean, I could see people that are normally positive individuals, people who I look up to, people I know that are genuinely, that are enlightened, that usually are not negative. I mean, a lot of people have come to me, and said, God, and I mean, in the last week or two, I've had some very, very, very close friends who have hit me up, and they just bending the hell out of my ear. And I love being there, because I've bent theirs as well, because, I mean, at the same time, though, too, I've been going through some shit, and, it's affected me really, really badly too. But, anytime that you see this, the one thing that we always notice, that whenever we see like a lot of chaos, is we see an awful lot of conspiracy surface.
Yeah.
And the coin shortage is one of them. I don't really understand the implications of getting rid of actual physical currency versus going all digital. I don't really know one way or the other whether I care or not, to be honest. I mean, I guess you can say that if you don't have physical currency, then all of your assets can be stolen from you digitally by anybody or frozen or something like that. But in the event that something like that should happen, the physical currency is probably not going to be worth anything face value anyways. What do you think about that?
Well, this is my thing. This is my thing with the whole currency and the coin shortage is it's alarming to me. And the reason why it's alarming to me is because how much fucking money are we printing? You know what I mean?
I mean, tons, but what
I'm saying is
it's coinage.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like how much currency? I mean, inflation. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Like, in a couple of months, we're short of fucking coins. What happened to all the coins?
Right.
Where are all the fucking coins at? You know what I mean? Where are all the coins at? Are we
saving a
saving
bunch of fucking preppers that are fucking hoarding coins like the fucking toilet paper?
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is like, are there that many piggy banks out there that we have to keep fucking printing coins all the time? You know what I'm saying? To be that short that quick. You know what I mean? It's just strange. All of this is strange, and unfortunately,
it is strange.
Unfortunately. We are, as a society, are like beholden to giant media conglomerates that are fucking stuffing division down our throats every day, all day, 24 hours a day, And I think, I think that, to me, with everything that's going on, it's just too perfect of a scenario. Not to be political, I don't want to get into politics, but in a way, the current climate kind of lends itself to what we talk about here. And it just seems to me like there's something going on more. There's more going on here than what we're privy to. You know what I'm saying? There's clearly a fucking agenda being pushed here. I'm not exactly sure what it is, and we won't know what it is until it's after it's over. And
you see, that's my problem. I'm right there with you. Where the hell did the coin go? There's a lot of fucking coin out there. Dude, right up here, just up the road where I go to Speedway, for the last 3 days, if you do not have exact change, you cannot use money. So, and I go there and buy a coffee like 6 days a week. Now I got to use my card. Now, thankfully, they don't hit you with minimums on that, but... they're, I mean, even up here at the most local place, it's the same thing there. And I'm like, what in the hell? Where's all of your guys' coins? It's not coming in from the bank. And the banks are saying we're not getting it in. And we're going, where the fuck is it all going?
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. And none of this makes sense. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, to be quite honest with you. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop, to be completely honest.
What shoe would that be?
Massive civil unrest. I'm waiting. I mean, we've already got civil unrest, but it's only one side of the aisle that's really freaking out right now, and all rightfully so. In some instances, but I think in other instances it's been being taken a little too far, and there's some people out there that are taking advantage of a situation to profit or steal or just be a general piece of shit. You know what I mean? But
all the destruction and all that shit. It's all bullshit.
Yeah. It's all bullshit. I'm all about a peaceful protest, but this shit's going to a whole nother level, man. And I think it's all media fueled. I feel like
it is. It's media fueled, and it's fueled by a bunch of assholes who have no respect for anything. But and this is just it. And I was just talking to a couple of police officers Wednesday and Thursday. We did some work for a few officers, and they had some other officers that were over. And we discussed that, and one of the things that I had said was they said, well, what do you think about it? And I said, here's the situation. What a lot of people don't understand is this. We're seeing a lot of widespread unrest, destroying of the monuments and statues and property and shit like that. But really, when you look at a country that's got 300 million people, that is a very, 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 very small minority of individuals that's creating that damage. It's less than a half of a percentage.
Right.
So, I mean, are we really looking at the fact that we need to be pushed to the point of civil unrest at this point? No, I think that the majority of the world understands, the majority of the United States understands that it is a very small group of people. It's a very small group of people that we know that are alive and living in our communities today, that are acting out.
Right.
It's not, when I see my brother and his wife and their kids down destroying the building, some kind of shit is going to hit the fan, because when you start to see the people that you don't expect out there doing it,
right, that's when
that's when we're all going to start questioning what we're seeing, because right now the types of people that we're seeing doing this destruction, this damage, just look at them. 90% of them have got a criminal record. I mean,
a lot of it,
we just
a lot of it, dude, has jumped the shark at this point. They've jumped the shark.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've jumped the shark. I mean, we're essentially going back to segregation. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, that's essentially what's happening.
And that's just it. I mean, that's just it. You're
insanity,
forcing that, and it's working. It's working in reverse. And the majority of the black community do not agree with what's the unrest. The majority of them don't. I can tell you right now, I can walk right out of my doorway, step on my front door, and I can wave to 5 black families where I stand.
Right.
Okay. All my neighbors, we all get along very good. We all talk about it. We all love one another. We all watch each other's backs.
Right.
They don't agree with the shit that
that's
they're
the way.
seeing.
That's the way everything
media.
should be. I guess that's kind of what we're getting at tonight is kind of like a modern, like a conspiracy happening, a conspiracy theory happening right before our very eyes. In my personal opinion, I don't think there is.
It is exactly a conspiracy theory that's being perpetrated by the fucking media. And like you said, the media projects it to be so much bigger than what it is when it's really not. It's not really that big. It's just widespread.
Right.
And
it's happening in big cities. You know what I mean? And a lot of it, like Seattle, for instance, all the shit that was going on there. A lot of the people that are like, I don't even, who the fuck are these people? Where the fuck do all these people come from? They're down there destroying minority-owned businesses and shit. None of it makes any fucking sense. You know what I mean? And that just goes to show that like I said, there's another agenda here that we aren't aware of right now that we will find out about later. There's definitely something going on.
I think it's a small amount of assholes who've got nothing better to do with their fucking lives and they can get away with it.
True.
Because right now nobody's really fucking doing anything about it. Everybody's just watching them topple the shit out of all this stuff, And then the whole thing about it, man, is this. When we get to the point to where we turn on the fucking news and we start seeing entire cities being locked down by National Guard, and we start seeing people coming in. I mean, first of all, when our National Guard's had enough, they're going to come in and start busting caps.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, you can cry and fucking whine all the fuck you want, but this country needs order. I don't give a shit who it's going to come from. You are not going to get fucking special needs and interest fucking groups to go and fucking handle domestic violence cases, fucking murders, killings, anything like that. They don't. Not only do they not have the education, the capacity to fucking do so, but they're not trained to be that. It would take years of infrastructure in order to put something like that into place, and we just know it's not going to work. The other thing.
You know what, dude? Before I forget this, Kelly. Even people that are dying from other things, they're putting COVID-19 on it. I got a story for you. I know someone, I'm not going to bust them out here, but I know someone that comes into a place that I spend a couple hours every Saturday morning at.
What's up, John Sacco?
That works in the medical field here in town. I'm not going to say where, just in case, but... the 3 of these women were tested for COVID, and they came back positive. Of course, they work in the medical field. It's probably not a stretch that they'd catch it. So after a certain amount of time, they get tested again. I mean, they're working at a hospital, you know what I mean? So
Right.
that's 3 positive tests right there.
Mm-hmm.
So they test them again, and then those 3 positive tests are added to the 3 that they're already given. Not so instead of just those 3 women being tested and they're COVID positive, they're not only the 3 of them, but now 6. Those
now
3,
6 because they've tested positive twice.
Yes.
The numbers are fucked.
Their numbers are totally fucked.
The numbers, the accountability is fucked. But here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, it would be physically impossible to be accurate to the bone on all of these cases.
But
them coming through so much.
That right there is a problem. Now, I'm not one of these people that don't believe COVID's real. I got a really close friend that's got COVID. Chris Michael, you know Chris.
You and I both. Yeah.
Yep. So
I've known 5 people who've died from it.
Yep.
Yep. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that here in a second. But go ahead.
And that the fellow over in Port Clinton.
Richard Rose.
Richard Rose. I had to fucking completely go nuclear assault on. So I don't know the gentleman at all, but there's people in another town of a Facebook page I'm a member of. This lady's like posting pictures of his Facebook page saying, I ain't wearing no mask and now he's dead. And I'm just like, well, kudos to you, you fucking twat.
Yeah, dude. And just so that you know, man, that's been brought up and drugged through the mud in the paranormal field as well. I know you're not quite as into it as I am as far as where you are, but and it's also made national news. And here's the thing, people. Here's the thing about Richard Rose. He was a good guy. Mm-hmm. Okay. Lots of good people out there choose not to wear masks. They take that risk. Mm-hmm. Okay. Richard Rose paid the ultimate price. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure if he had to go back and do it all over again after he was diagnosed with COVID-19, he probably would have said I was fucking stupid and should have done it. But once he pays the ultimate price, you have to fucking leave him alone.
Yeah, man.
You can't kick people after they've died.
Yeah.
And you can't. There's nothing more fucking morally fucked up than doing something or saying something to somebody who has paid the ultimate price. Yeah, unless you're a child molester or something like that. I mean, come on.
Can you imagine? I mean, the problem with that, what bothers me is if it's the leftist media horseshit, those people that will use that as see. Yeah. You know, I just that to me is tacky as fuck. And if the shoe was on the other foot, the outrage would be, oh, could you imagine?
Right.
Could you imagine? Well, unbelievable.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to give a heads up or a shout out to Sam Henderson and Amanda Messenberg, Kelly Gillespie. Thanks for tuning in, brother.
Yeah.
All good things. Jackie and Kelly both got a lot of shit going on that they're talking about, and those are all good points, guys. And Jackie Hicks, she knew Richard really well in the paranormal, and then I believe also too in the racing world. I mean, for her, I mean, Jackie Hicks' son had COVID-19, and he's still not back 100%. You know, I've known 5 people that's died from it. I've known probably a half a dozen more people that have recuperated from it. And this is probably as good a time to talk about it as any other. But, Keith Age and I had a conversation on the phone today about, we've lost quite a few people in the paranormal community to COVID-19, and some of them have been really, really dear friends. Richard Rose is only one of them. Yeah. And one of the things that we have to understand is that, hey Tina, one of the things that we have to understand is that the paranormal community is huge. It's monstrous. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's got to be one of the largest private communities out there, public communities out there. There's a humongous following for it. One of the things that hasn't been done yet is a memorial page set up to our brothers and sisters in the paranormal field who have perished to COVID-19. I'm in contact, and I guess somebody on my friends list who I've met and who's been part of our events, and she's a sweetheart of a woman, but her husband John Holliday passed away a couple months ago, and he was just a wonderful guy. I was on the radio show. They used to come to our events, and it's just really, really sad that these people are going through this. So what we're going to do, Keith and I, is we're going to start a memorial page to those in the paranormal community who either
cool,
that are directly related to the paranormal community, who's had husbands, wives, sons, daughters, or anybody in their immediate family that's passed from COVID, and it's just going to be a memorial page for those individuals. We sit here and we talk about, memorializing people from that died from back in the tuberculosis days, and memorializing heroes and memorializing this, that, or the other. So we thought it would be a great idea to start a memorial page and do it right, right now while it's live. Why wait 100 years to memorialize somebody? So in the next few days, you guys can all I'll send an invite out to you guys. It'll probably be on our Facebook pages. I'll put a link to it on the podcast page as well. But basically, we have a couple people and some things that we're going to start it off with. But if anybody that's out there that's involved in the paranormal community knows somebody that's not mentioned on that page, I want you to private message myself or Keith Age and get us that information on that individual so we can properly pay respects to them on that page as well. So we're going to rely a lot on the community to do it, but we really want to do something special for those individuals. So should be a good thing, man.
Kelly, I don't know if there's different strains, but I think that's what's really strange about this virus is that somebody can get it and, pretty much self-care at home and everything be fine. And then there's people like Richard who get it and die relatively quick, and that's what's strange about this. And I think that's what also drives so much conspiracy and conjecture around the topic of COVID is because it affects everyone differently. It's not like AIDS or cancer. It's, it affects everyone differently. You know what I mean? Like some guy might get it and just have a sniffle and be okay, and then accidentally give it to his partner or his wife, or a friend or whoever, and they may die. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? And that's what's scary about it. So, like, if I go to the grocery store or anything like that, or like the hardware store, I'll put on a fucking mask. You know what I mean? I'm not, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I use my hand sanitizer when I get back in the truck. If like in my day-to-day business, I go to a customer's house. That's the first thing I ask them. And when I ring the doorbell, I'm usually on the doorstep. You know what I mean? But now when I ring the doorbell and then I walk back about 6-7 feet and wait for him to open the door and be like, if you want me to, I'll wear a mask on the inside of the house. Some are like, yeah, if you don't mind, would you? And others are like, well, it's just me here. I don't go nowhere. I feel fine. If you feel fine, let's, you know what I mean? Everything's cool. You know what I mean? But right. You just have to, and I said this the other day. Nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows what's going on with this. Not even the government, the WHO, the CDC. None of them. They ain't got a clue. Nobody has a clue. They're just grasping at straws now. And to me, the best way to be is just be kind to people. Fucking wear your mask if it's required. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or whether it's required or not. Actually, just go to the grocery store. Wear a mask while you're in the grocery store. It's not going to hurt you.
And that's the other thing is you have all these fucking smartasses out there that are like, oh, they don't understand the reason for the mask.
Yeah.
So,
I was misinformed for quite a while myself. You know what I mean? Now, I went to the fact where you spray bleach, I spray bleach. I spray chemical all the fucking time. I know all about PPE. Yep. I've been to plenty fucking PPE classes, and I know that the virus, it's like a surgical mask is like, 0.003 microns, it will help. And then and the coronavirus itself is 0.0125. So it's super smaller than anything that could ever filter. But it's not, the problem is it doesn't ride on, it's not airborne. It rides through the saliva. It piggybacks off of saliva. The snot, you're sneezing, you're coughing, your spittle that comes out of your mouth when you're talking. That's what it's riding on.
Which is why the mask doesn't protect the saliva coming from somebody, but it protects from your saliva going out.
So if I'm wearing it and he's wearing it, we're not spitting on each other.
People don't fucking understand that. And here's the thing, people. Let's not be fucking stupid here. Even if it wasn't the best antidote for the situation. Wouldn't we want to just be a little bit more careful, just to try to reduce the amount of cases?
I'm not wearing the motherfucker outside. You know what I mean? I'm not wearing the motherfucker while I'm driving.
Yeah.
But if I go into a fucking Myers or Kroger's, I'm just gonna toss the motherfucker on while I'm doing my grocery shopping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've got them. I've got a whole handful of them. I've got really nice ones that have Ohio State emblems on them.
Me too. I just toss one. I got a camouflage one. You know what I mean? I might get one that makes my face look like I got fucking, gold teeth or so. I don't know. Just have a little fun with it. To me, it's just not. I just don't know. It's really not something that we need to start to split hairs. Because for a short time there, I was splitting hairs about it. You know what I mean? Because I was like, surgical masks are not made for that. You know what I mean? And I'm like, this is what it's made for. And the whole time I'm saying that, I'm thinking that the virus is airborne, and it isn't.
You're right. It's not. It's not airborne.
You know what I'm saying?
Sam Henderson's got a really good point. He says, honestly, gloves need to be worn as well. I completely agree, man. Because here's the thing. When you have to go in and you have to disinfect a building, the one thing that you're disinfecting is what? The touch surfaces, right? Then you should be, because the saliva's fallen, and it's fallen where people standing at a counter, hundreds of people per day, or just spittle. You can't help it. You just, no matter what.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but here's the thing. So, you have an old lady.
Like I said, you just gotta use common sense, man. Just common sense.
Yeah. But here's the thing: if somebody's standing in front of you and they don't have a mask on, and they're an old person or an old lady or whatever, and they're not wearing a mask, and you see them touch their face or whatever, and you see them touch the keypad or whatever, just look at the attendant and ask them to fucking sanitize it. Don't go off on the 75-year-old fucking woman creating a cardiac fucking arrest and making yourself look like trash in public. Whatever you do, because that's exactly the kind of shit that we're seeing every day.
Yeah, just be kind to one another. Yeah, fucking pulling out your phone, fucking publicly fucking shaming people. What the fuck's wrong with you people out there, man? Come on, man. As if the world isn't fucked up enough, you got to add to it by busting some old lady's fucking chops about not having a mask on. Maybe she can't fucking breathe.
Maybe she can't fucking breathe. Exactly. Asthma, whatever. You can honestly have to say that there's a 70-some-year-old lady out there that's going out in public, she doesn't have a mask on. There's about a 99% chance that she's got a medical problem and probably can't breathe with the fucking thing on her, because she probably wouldn't have left her house to begin with if she didn't need to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's just it. I mean, this isn't a time to be ugly to one another. This is a time to be chivalrous and to show people that kindness is still out there, man. Right. I mean, I'm bending over backwards to open doors for people, and doing all kinds of shit. Just even if it just makes an impact in somebody's morning, man. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. And
I've noticed that. I don't know if it's like you said because of Mercury, but I just the last few weeks, man. I've gone out. I'm usually on a day-to-day basis, I'm normally a yes ma'am, no sir type of person. I've always been that way in public. Sure. And it doesn't matter if the guy that I'm talking to or the woman I talk to is younger than me or older than me. I just treat everyone the same. It doesn't matter what color you are, none of that shit. But if you're a fucking asshole to somebody in public and it isn't justified, and I'm standing there, you're probably going to have a fucking problem, because I've had enough. I've had enough. I've had enough.
And Jackie had a point too. She says, maybe she didn't even have any friends or family to help her, so she had to go do it herself.
Right, man.
You know what? I mean, you have to think about it. Everybody's got a shit situation. So when you wake up and your feet touch the floor in the morning, okay, every single fucking person that you're going to pass isn't going to yield to your shit situation in your life. They've got a shit situation in their life too. Stop fucking treating everybody, that way. There's no reason for it.
I've said this from the very beginning of this whole thing. When this all started, and they're like, we're putting you under quarantine. Stay in your house. And I was like, there is no way in modern society that we're going to stop this with masks and gloves. That's not how this is going to work, folks.
It's not going to work that way for you.
The only thing the mask and gloves are really, to be quite honest with you, and the way it all started out, the way I remember it anyway, was... the quarantine, the masks, all that shit was to stop the hospitals from being inundated to where they could not care for people. It
that
wasn't
was
to
the
stop
thing.
it.
They had to stop. The problem was that not only did the hospital beds fill up, but if you didn't have a life-threatening surgery, your shit was halted, man.
Yeah.
I mean, if you weren't a mandatory surgery, somebody said life or death,
Mm-hmm.
then whatever medical shit you had going on got put on the back burner.
Yeah.
You don't understand.
Yeah,
This literally put the health industry in a fucking
brought it to its fucking knees.
Yeah,
Because I can tell you right now,
did.
And unfortunately, when something like this happens and financial ruin starts to happen and pocketbooks start to get fucking, people start to do stupid shit. For instance,
Yeah, they do.
There's no more elective surgeries anymore. So, and every time they get a COVID patient in, they get $38,000. How many fucking COVID patients do you think the hospital's going to have if they don't have any fucking elective surgeries anymore?
Right.
There's going to be some corruption going on. And there's clearly is some corruption going on. So to me, they're taking, and this is my point, is what about this podcast and what we're talking about tonight is there is clearly another agenda going on, and it may not be a conspiracy, but there is definitely people taking advantage of a situation, not only with this virus, but with that man killing that dude by kneeling on his neck. There is another agenda being pushed for large social change, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with us treating each other better, but that's not what's happening. We're being segregated. We're being hosed off on each other. Nobody likes each other anymore. Nobody likes each other anymore. Like, I have a gentleman on my Facebook. His name is Vishan. He's an awesome dude. I love him. We become really good friends, and we've never met each other. And we hooked up.
I got a couple of those.
Yeah,
bro.
we hooked up because we're both huge Browns fans, Cleveland Browns fans, and misery loves company. You know what I'm saying? So him and I, he's a black man. Him and I disagree. He thinks Trump is a fucking idiot, and I'll admit I'm voting for him instead of Joe Biden. I'm going to tell you all that right now. But him and I can have a very serious, really edgy conversation and still at the end of it be cool, 100%, no ill will. He knows me well enough through our personal conversations and our interactions to know that I'm not a bad guy at heart. He's not a bad guy at heart. But we can have nuanced opinions. And I feel like...
Oh, yeah, absolutely, dude.
I feel like
absolutely.
that has gone away. That has gone away. The media, is drawing that line in the sand where you cannot be nuanced. You're either on this side of the fence or you're on that side of the fence. And I'm real famous.
Here's the thing that gets me, bro.
What's that?
Here's the thing that gets me. Because the media is driving it, but it's the fucking people who are falling for it and that are burning fucking bridges right now. I mean, that's the biggest fucking thing, man. Everybody wants to surround themselves with everybody who, if you're a Trump hater, I want nothing but other Trump haters that are around me.
Yeah.
Not being able to actually fucking form a relationship with somebody who has a different opinion and just love and respect that for as it is. Keith Age and I, we talked about that the other day. Mm-hmm. His opinion isn't the same as mine. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't fucking matter, man, because we can talk about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. We talk about it, and I go, well, that's not, I don't believe in that. But, I respect you and your beliefs. I totally respect you.
Man, I think it's...
everybody's got a different pour, and everybody comes from a different background, man. You got to respect that.
Right, and this is the way I look at it. I want to see two gay people get married, adopt a child, have health benefits and death benefits that they can share, adopt a child, grow weed in their backyard, and protect it with an AR-15. That's what I feel like with a 30-round magazine. That's how I feel the country should be. You know what I mean? That's just my personal opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with having a really conservative person would look at me like I got a dick growing out of my forehead if I said that. You know what I'm saying? And same with the people on the left. You mean to tell me that you're for gay marriage, but you think that they should have a 30-round magazine in their AR-15? Well, fuck yeah, I do. Fuck yeah, I do. Do I think people should be running around with fully automatic weapons? No. But I should be able to. I should be able to defend myself and my home and my family. I should be afforded the right to defend myself.
with a hunting rifle.
Well, I got one. It's an AR-15. It's an AR-15 is a 223. That's a hunting rifle like a motherfucker, bro. Exactly. You know what I mean? It just looks cool. Exactly right.
it just looks. It just looks
cool, man. It looks.
I mean, and here's the thing,
cool.
you know, like John just said, like how many friends and family he's lost because of his opinions about Trump. Here's the thing that I stand about that. I've got tons of people who I respected and who I love a lot, and it's been in my life. But I've watched them over 3 years, 4 years, ever since Trump's election, 3.5 years now. And, you know, if you want to post your memes about Trump and all that shit, and you want to put all that fake news out there, I mean, I don't have that problem with that opinion. What I have a problem with is you saying anybody who supports Trump is a fucking piece of shit, because now you are shitting on me.
Yeah, or a racist, and I'm neither of those. Jason's a great dude.
Right. I mean, here's the thing, man. I mean, that's once you shit on somebody's beliefs, okay, personally, then you've drawn a line in the sand for me. I have to let you go, bro. You know, don't be like, you know, you can say, I can't stand this about him. I can't stand him. I don't like what the fuck he's done. Fuck this. Fuck that. I love Obama. I don't care what it is. That's fine. But don't say if you support Trump, you're a fucking piece of shit. Because clearly, until you said that, for all the years that we've been friends, I have not been a fucking piece of shit to you.
Yeah. And that goes back to my point. The division is designed. This is all by design.
Exactly, all by design. I mean, and here it is. I mean, look, and it's an election year. This is it. When you bring about, look, they've got nothing to pin on Trump.
Hey, if you don't vote for Joe Biden, you ain't black. You know what I'm saying? You know how fucking crazy that is? Could you imagine if Donald Trump said that? If you don't vote for Donald Trump, you ain't black. Could you imagine if he had said that? The hypocrisy is real. The fucking sharks are riding dirt bikes and jumping each other right now. That's how fucking much the shark has been jumped here. These motherfuckers, the sharks are doing supercross backflips right now. It is a centrifuge of horse shit. All of this is a centrifuge of horse shit.
Absolutely. It's exactly what it is. It's a vortex of fucking of horse shit.
Dude. Like, you know, the butterfly flaps its wings in Oregon, and there's a fucking typhoon in Japan. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's just one little pebble, of one little seed of division. That's all it takes. You know what I mean? So and we're all at fucking each other's necks.
This has really been my take on it. Most of these people really don't fucking hate Trump. Most of these people that, you know, or people that most of these people don't love Trump. However the opinion is, it doesn't matter. Okay, it's not the fact that they don't like him or not, because 90% of these fucking people couldn't even name the three main branches of government. To be honest with you, they're not even registered to fucking vote.
Yeah.
And before Trump was even on the fucking ballot to be elected as president or even running as president, none of these fucking people paid attention to politics. The only thing that politics is for these people in COVID and the differences in the division that we have in this world right now over protest and Black Lives Matter, that is nothing more than a motor for everybody's negativity they have in their lives. Everybody, instead of saying, look, I'm just a fucking unhappy asshole, what they do is they wake up every day and they take it out on fucking people from Facebook.
Right.
And they're not, it's not that they're fucking, that they're a political genius.
I'm a troll.
But it's just that they're fucking miserable in their own fucking life, and this is the motor for it. That's all it is. This is nothing but the motor.
Listen, I'm guilty of that. I'm a troll. I troll people. If I see you say something really fucking stupid, or you're trying to be smart and misspell every fucking word you're trying to get out, I'm going to say something to you about it. I'm going to correct your spelling mistakes. And I'm going to tell you you're a fucking idiot if you're being a fucking idiot on Facebook. I will, because I feel like
I see.
There needs to be there needs to be guys like me out there to knock people down a few pegs, because that guy's doing it to me when I fuck up. You know what I'm saying?
I will agree with you there. There needs to be people like you. I am completely on board with that. But here's the thing that always leads to back and forth.
Yeah. Well, no, I don't do a lot of back and forth. I don't do a lot of that. I just I drop my shells and run. You know what I mean? I pull the pistol it on the grenade, and I toss it. You know what I'm saying? You big dummy!
This guy's throwing internet Molotov cocktails.
And walking away, bro. Turn off notifications. I'm good, bro.
And generally what I do is I'm like always quiet, and then I come in and then I give the mic drop moment, and then I walk away.
Yeah, that's the way to, but sometimes you gotta check people.
9 times out of 10, I just scroll.
Life is all about checks and balances, just like our government. Checks and balances. You know what I'm saying? The only fucking thing we have to contend with are the men in black, clearly, because there's an agenda going on here. There's an agenda to win the minds of Americans, and they are splitting us up into 2 different categories, and that's scary. That's scary. That's scary. That's scary. You know, I feel like there's a lot of bad shit that goes on in the world. And I feel like, that's a common occurrence in life, is bad shit happens. But then there's that element that will take advantage of that situation and perpetuate it. You know what I mean? And that's what's scary. And that's a conspiracy.
It is. It is just like everything else. And that's just it. That's what I was telling somebody the other day is I said, hey, look, somebody says, so you're a conspiracy theorist, huh? So what do you think about this? So what do you think about that? And I just kind of debunked this and debunked that. And they're like, so if you're a conspiracy theorist, how is it that you don't believe in any of these? Right. And I just stopped them. I said, name the last conspiracy that ever came true.
JFK.
Was that a conspiracy?
Gulf of Tonkin.
Was any of that a conspiracy though?
Fuck yeah, it was.
It just happened the way it did.
What do you mean it happened the way they conspired to kill that dude?
They could, yeah, but we're talking about after the fact conspiracies. We're not talking about conspiring to do something and actually do it. That happens all the fucking time. But now since JFK was murdered, okay, and how many conspiracy theories have come out of that?
Well, I think the theories are theories, but I mean it's definitely, there's no question that they conspired to kill him. That is a conspiracy.
Kill him, but that's
there may be different. It might be. Well, the theory may be the mob who killed him, but there's no question that someone.
It could have been anybody. It could have been Lyndon B. Johnson. It could have fucking been anybody. It could have been fucking.
So how does that not make JFK an honest conspiracy? There's no question someone colluded to kill the man. That's a conspiracy. Now there's different theories surrounding how we got to that end.
Every single time in history that you have a premeditated murder, it's a conspired event.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about that. We're talking about conspiracy theories. We're not talking about. I thought
you said any conspiracy theories that turned out to be right.
No, theories.
Right.
Not conspiracies. Theories.
Okay.
That turned out to be right. Theories.
Right.
Okay.
Well,
we know every single time that somebody premeditates a murder and follows through with it, it's a conspiracy that's been done. But what about the theories that have come afterwards about it not happening?
I might have one. I think maybe.
I mean, how many?
Now, have you listened to? Have you listened to?
Listen.
Have you listened? You've listened and read. I Heard You Paint Houses. Am I correct?
Yeah. Actually, believe it or not, I'm on my way through it a second time.
Okay, I told you it's really good, right? Isn't that technically? I mean, doesn't that book, in your eyes, in a way, kind of prove some of the theories around the JFK assassination? I mean, it kind of not for you.
I don't know.
It did for me. It did for me because I mean the mob was involved.
I mean, because we actually know that we actually think we know who killed JFK.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So we have the guy who pulled the trigger. Mm-hmm. Okay. And but after that, everybody said no, that couldn't have happened. It has to be the limo driver. So there's a theory. And then somebody says, well, what makes you think that Lyndon B. Johnson wasn't behind it too? Well, there's another theory. Neither of those came true. So how many different angles were there to what is the truth behind the Kennedy murder? And how many of them have been defined? The same original one that fucking started in 1963 when he was murdered still holds to this day. And all of the documents have been declassified. So,
but they've been heavily redacted, though.
Of course, all government fucking shit that gets declassified is redacted. If you look at everything, there's black lines through really everything.
No, yeah. I don't know. To me, the picture that was painted And I heard you paint houses. I listened to the book before the Netflix movie was even way before that shit. So, but the book is really good.
How many conspiracy theories were there about Hoffa's death before the truth came out? Nobody fucking knew that was outside of the circle. How Hoffa died.
I'm not. Maybe I'm just not picking up what you're putting down. But I don't understand what you're trying to say.
How many conspiracies was there about how Hoffa died?
Oh yeah, well, not how he died, but yeah, I agree with what you're saying.
Where he's buried, where his body was, how he died, who killed him, all those conspiracies. It was the fucking Union. It was this. It was that. It was the mob.
It was the Union and the mob.
Right, but nobody was fucking naming him. Nobody was the police that had him for a main suspect, but that was just it. But think about all the times that somebody said that Hoffa died because of this. I mean, there was another movie that came out called Hoffa that fucking totally painted a totally different picture. Mm-hmm. Of course, in that one though, Hoffa literally gets out of the car and walks away, and they don't tell you how he.
Yeah, but I heard you paint houses. I feel like is not an account where the guy's out to bullshit. I mean, pretty much.
No. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that is. I think that is the true account behind what actually happened to Hoffa. But besides that account, there were 100 other conspiracy theories that surrounded why Hoffa died, where he was, and who killed him.
Like I said, I don't know. I'll have to go back and re-listen to your question what you're trying to. I don't get it, but. Jackie O. I just Sam. Just imagine you're sitting in a car, and then all of a sudden, your significant other's brains are all over your clothing. I mean, I think you would just be there too. You know, he said in all the photos, he kind of seemed just to be there.
I cannot imagine Jackie O. being part of that whatsoever.
No, and it is awful weird that his son passed away young too. That's also really fucking weird. I don't know. They're just I think I kind of feel what you're saying. You're saying there's a lot of theories about a lot of things, but how many of them actually turn out to be true? Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The theories
absolutely.
themselves, like, Jimmy Hoffa was killed by the mob and buried at New York Giants Stadium underneath the 20-yard line. That's what you're saying. Yeah, okay. When in all reality, Ed Sheeran, one of his closest confidants, a mob hitman, shot him in a foyer in a fucking house in Detroit, and then they burned his body in a crematorium.
But until we knew that,
the mob killed him.
All of those other theories were all wrong. Yeah. Until we knew that. And here's the thing, dude. There are still people out there that are saying that Ed Sheeran wasn't the one who killed him. You know, there's people out there that say that too, and I mean, I don't believe it. I mean, I've got no reason to believe that he didn't. I mean, everything surrounding it, all the details, the family, his daughters, the way I mean, there's too much to the story. And here's the thing: not a single person has come out to detest
anything he said.
Ounce,
nothing,
not an ounce, not a one.
If you get a chance, go to audiobooks.com, and we get nothing for me saying this, but get the audiobook, I Heard You Paint Houses. It is fucking excellent. It is fucking excellent. It's excellent. The guy that narrates it is, I mean, he's awesome, right? I mean, he does a great job.
Oh, yeah.
He does two different voices. Yeah. He does his voice as the author, and then he does Ed Sheeran's voice. It's fucking absolutely amazing. Yeah. It's great. It's a great fucking book.
Like I said, I've gone through it once on the audio, and I'm halfway through it again. Yeah, I'm on like chapter 7.
It's fucking again, great. So but there's actually a tie in there to the JFK assassination, essentially that he was involved in the rifles, the 2 bags of rifles, the whole 9 yards. You know, right. It's really fucking crazy. I mean. Actually, to be honest, there's actually a local connection there. Ed Sheeran actually jumped on a Piper Cub airplane here in
little puddle hopper
here in Port Clinton, Ohio. Flew into Detroit, killed Jimmy Hoffa, got back on a plane, flew back to Port Clinton, Ohio, and then continued his drive up to Detroit.
Yep.
How crazy is fucking that, dude?
Because his alibi was a dinner.
Yeah, you know? How fucking crazy, dude.
And in case anybody didn't catch that, that's Port Clinton, Ohio. That's also the hometown of Richard Rose, the guy who passed away from COVID.
From where I am right now. But you know, the thing that I think to me lends credence to his story and the whole book is the fact that his daughters would have nothing to do with him because of they were really. Ed Sheeran's daughters were really close to Jimmy Hoffa. They called him Uncle Jimmy. They loved him, and his kids would not speak to him after it. They
even
knew,
even though that he didn't admit until his deathbed confessed. Basically, his family knew long before when Jimmy Hoffa disappeared what had happened. And there was already issues with Ed Sheeran and his daughters and his wife and stuff because of that long beforehand. And he was suspected by the police, but the police couldn't nail him for anything.
Yeah, well, they couldn't find a fucking body.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, it's dude. There's no way that Oswald killed Kennedy by himself. There's no fucking way. It's just not possible. He didn't pull that off. He was one of many involved. I think there was more than one shot, one rifleman, more than one shooter. I'm gonna hold to that. Just the ballistic evidence and shit like that. Now converting that sirens to that shit to nowadays. Like there's a person there was another person shot that day. Am I correct? One that got hit by a ricocheted bullet off a curb.
Right. Right.
So,
yep. And I don't know. I think it was an officer. It was CIA. I don't remember who it was, but yeah, you're right about that.
That's fucking wild ass shit, man. So and
you don't pull headshots from that far away and then accidentally ricochet bullets off of a curb.
Well, what they're saying is that the trajectory of where it was at on the curb and the ricochet, the person getting hit with the bullet, whatever, it would be no way it could have been Oswald shooting that round.
Right. Yeah, it didn't face the trajectory was all off on that. Absolutely. Yep.
The Valentine's Day massacre, Al Capone was in Florida when that happened. Jason would probably know more about that than me.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Kelly. Capone never didn't fucking hardly kill anybody on his own. Capone did whatever the fuck he did, and he had goons that did everything. Of course, he was still in Florida.
Yeah.
Of course, he was in Florida. So, but before we get too far, dude, because we can continue on with this and just go on and on about this shit. But I want to talk about a guest that we're going to have on next week's show, and it's a guest that's of a higher caliber than we're used to having on. We're actually going to have a very young and gifted spiritual medium, Marissa Liza Pell, is going to be on the show as a guest next Sunday.
Is it going to be live or pre-recorded?
Unless anything changes. No, it's going to be live, and it's going to go good. I told her, that I wanted it to be as organic as absolutely possible. She's not going to come on and do readings for everybody and all of that stuff. She does a lot today. She does a lot of spiritual healing and dealing with today's events. From a local standpoint to a national standpoint to an international standpoint and how to spiritually deal with what's going on in today's society. So as she's talking about this, she's going to open up. She says that there will be things that will come across about us as we're interviewing her, and she will come right out in the raw and will put things out, things that are going to come across. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, no. So, because I didn't ask Kristen Lee, and I don't ask psychics to come on and do readings. I just don't do it. I want to talk about them. I don't really necessarily want to focus on their craft. I want to spend the time that we have talking about that individual. So she's going to be a really, really she's one I've never met before. She is the cousin of a dear friend of ours, Richie Blue from out in San Diego, California. She is mainstream. Okay.
We have no business talking to this lady.
in other words, she's got quite a following. The good thing about it is she's got a super great personality. She's got a lot of class to her, but the one thing that I know about that you'll be surprised about her too is she's not afraid to be disgustingly honest about things, so she's also too you're not going to she's not all roses and whatever sunflowers, but she's going to be a super good guest.
Pops and gumdrops is what I would have used there, but whatever.
There you go. That works.
Yeah.
But she's super duper cool. We're going to, so anybody who's wondering, that is going to be next weekend, same time, same bat channel. But you will start to see the the advertisement for it, the promotion for it coming out probably by tomorrow evening. You'll start seeing it hit everywhere. So I know that we're really, really excited to have her on.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm a little intimidated by all of it. You know what I mean? Because it's a big deal. Jason's like, fuck it, bro. We're just going to do it. You know what I mean? I'm just like, yeah, you're right. We're going to do it. You know what I mean? We'll just do it. We'll just be us and it'll be fine. Anyone related to Richie is got to be awesome. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So and my correspondence back, she seems like a really nice person. So, and pretty down to earth is what Richie told me. He's like, you'd be surprised how down to earth she really is. And Jason, of course, just said there that, his impression that thus far is just that. You'd be surprised. You know what I mean? It's cool. And that's what's cool about being able to interview her. You know what I mean? Maybe, something exciting for you guys. I think it'll be cool. I think I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it'd be really, really great because, by the end of the conversation, she was like, hey, I host a, have a good night, Sam. Yeah, hope your migraine gets better, buddy.
Yep. Take it easy, Sam.
She does these videos from her porch and from another room in her house, and each type of video is a special time that she has, and one of them is more geared towards something, and the other one is just kind of off the wall, different topics and things like that. She was like, "Oh yes, I'd love to have you guys on the show at some point on my end," and I'm like, "That would really be awesome. I know we'd be totally for to be a guest, even if it wasn't for a whole hour to dip in and kind of talk a little bit about the macabre side of the paranormal and whatnot." Yeah. So, all good things, guys, and we're still waiting on dates from other people that are going to blow your minds that we got as guests coming up.
I haven't forgot about those. That's hopefully all that stuff gets lined out. I'm hoping that it gets lined out. It's going to be sweet.
Yeah, it will. And just so that you know, I've got at least another half dozen requests out for some pretty awesome people. So we'll have to see what happens. Sorry, Jason Lehman. No Dan Aykroyd
yet. But, we're still trying.
We're trying.
We're trying.
I'd really like to get David Paulides on.
Dude.
I'm totally
think that would obsessed with that shit. That shit would be great, dude.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, one of my good friends here locally, Rob Stone, just hit me up right before we went on the show. He's like, "Dude, have you ever seen Missing 411's The 100?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah." When you're done with that, man, head over and check out Hellier. He's like, "I've never heard of it." I'm like, "Yep, good luck." Call me in a week, bro.
We still got some more follow-ups episodes to do with that. Hellier.
We got to have Greg Haas on. Remember, because he was the one that was hitting in the chat room.
Yeah.
He was over in Illinois doing an investigation yesterday in the middle of all those storms. He was there with Scotty Rorick and another all-star cast of investigators, and he stopped by my page to say what's up at like 2:30 this morning. So I wouldn't mind even having him on for a Hellier discussion because
that'd be
it seems
cool.
like he goes it front to back. So it'd be really cool to have him on as a guest. I'd love to have Seth back on. So we're looking for some co-hosts out there, people. TJ and I are always looking to change it up a little bit, add a little bit of flavor so you're not constantly looking at our ugly mugs.
Yeah.
Always great to bounce off a third person, including everybody.
Yeah, you don't have to be a superstar in the field of any like paranormal or fucking whatever, a psychic. You don't have to. You could just come on and if you have a similar interest in ours, it's always nice to have a third person to bounce ideas off of,
Yeah, Kelly, Nick Groff will never be on this show. Okay. I'm not going to go into it, but that's all I'm going to say about it. But Nick Groff will never be on this podcast, right? Sorry, buddy. But if you got somebody else that you want to see on here, feel free to hit us up.
I don't even know what that's about, but I support Jason
100%. He's not in my circle of people, and we'll just leave it at that. There's a reason why. So it's all good, though. It's all good. Did you guys ever hear about the Nazca lines in Peru? Supposedly was done by ET. Yes. I actually have heard about those. I think they're really freaking interesting. It's one of those things where it's not a subject that's really big enough for us to talk about for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, I'll tell you my honest opinion about it. I think it was done by man because they were trying to attract whoever was fucking flying around up there.
That's kind of that's my take. Not done by aliens, but done by humans
for aliens, to like to be like, hey,
aliens.
hey, you know what I mean? I think
Yeah.
is what that
Yeah.
was. But I don't know.
Thank
You
you
know what I
very
mean?
much, Jackie.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jackie. We appreciate you tuning in.
Jackie on here one of these times.
Yeah, no. Jackie and Tina both will come on here before too long. All they're doing is waiting for a date from me, probably,
Sweet.
and for us to nail something down. So,
Sweet.
Jackie and Tina are two wonderful ladies locally here. I love them to pieces. They're damn near like family to me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they'll be on. They're a lot of fun. They are a lot of fun to have on. So, yeah, John Sacco. I mean, throw us some ideas, buddy, that you want to hear on the show. If you even want to come on, message me. Hit me up on Facebook, something like that.
Yeah. Like I said, we're evolving here. We're evolving. This will evolve as we go. You know what I mean? We're just getting our feet underneath us. We're gonna, like I said, having all of this going on while you're running a business and taking care of family is not as easy as I thought it would be. You know what I mean? Because I do one. I was like, what's another one? Well, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it is. It
and
absolutely
you need Tina
is.
on.
Absolutely.
She said you need Tina on about her books.
I'll probably have you both on. And or I might do one with you both, and then do one with Tina first, and then do one with you both down the road. But Tina's books sit right here on my desk. Right here, as a matter of fact, they sit right here. Tina's books do. And that's just a reminder that I need to get her on the show, and I also need to finish reading Winds of Terror, which has actually been a really good book. T, I brought Winds of Terror to you, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Have you got into that at all?
No, I'm still reading the other one.
Oh, Cheryl's?
Yeah, still reading Cheryl's.
Cheryl Carter's? Yeah. So, that's another good book. That's a good book. So
there's only so many hours in the day, man.
I know, bro.
So many hours in the day,
know.
dude. So many hours in the day. We have to do that Moon podcast one of these days so I can blow everyone's minds.
We will. We'll do that. We'll do that.
We're gonna do that.
What we need to do is we need to find somebody. Maybe I can find a professor from Purdue University, Fort Wayne here that would come on and maybe elaborate with us about that.
Has he been on the moon?
No, I don't think
he's
been.
I don't know what he's talking about then. Fucking guy. What does he know?
we don't actually have astronauts on this show.
Oh.
I mean, it would be cool.
I'm not an astronaut, but I've been there. I've talked to the aliens before. I've been to the moon. I've been to the moon a couple times. Yes. So I don't know.
Absolutely.
I know it's rough. It's rough doing this podcast to have a topic to talk about. It's really hard to. It's much easier.
You
just
and I
to
are
groove
really.
on it.
You and I can you and I do a really good hour show just bouncing off a bunch of shit though, because once we how we get going on stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So short topics that neither one of us really want to talk about, we roll through them, and then the other ones we end up going back to over and over.
Yeah, word diarrhea.
So, but real quick though, anybody that's online, myself, Keith Age, Kristen Lee, Lane Kravenko, and Daniel Huff, the owners of the Bel Air House, myself and Keith Age, we are having a huge spirit festival at the Bel Air House on Halloween weekend. So there are tickets for sale. TJ will definitely be there. And yeah, Aldo. Yeah, you're right, Sam. We need to get Aldo on there. He's actually like number 3 on my list. That's right up here, right above my computer. So, yeah, John. I'm from Fort Wayne, brother. Been here for about 20 years. But so anyways, the Bel Air House. So on Halloween weekend, we're having a spirit festival. So on Saturday, basically, there's going to be a handful of vendors that are going to be there. It's going to be open to the public. You can come and tour the Bel Air House. You can check out all the metaphysical vendors. You can get readings. You can do all kinds of stuff. That's going to be Saturday. But on Friday night, there's going to be an investigation of the Bel Air House. There's going to be a seance and an investigation there. And then Saturday night, there's going to be a seance and an investigation there. The seance is going to be led by Kristen. Both nights, the investigations are going to be led by myself and Keith Age. So it's going to definitely be a good time because guess what? On Halloween, it's a full moon.
Cool.
So it's going to be a really, really, really great night. So we'll be bending the portal at its thinnest part. So the veil is just hopefully is going to play in our favor that night. So we'll have to see how it goes.
Chris Woodward, author of Haunted Ohio series. Yeah, that'd be cool because I've read almost all of those books. Chris Woodward, that'd be cool to talk to him. I would like that.
I don't know the guy, but I can work on that. Let me get a hold of him this week and see what happens.
Have you ever read any of those books? My bad.
The Haunted Ohio series? Yeah. Probably. Really, man, I've read so many of those fucking books, man.
I always like those.
You know,
I actually have a couple on my shelf over here.
There's quite a few we can talk about, and we should probably at some point in time get Mike Ricksecker on because Mike's got a whole thing going on with himself. If anybody's got time, check out Mike Ricksecker. Him and Shannon Wankel, his girlfriend, they're so fucking busy. They're writing books constantly. They're constantly traveling. They're doing paracons. They're constantly investigating. But they did a really, really thorough and extensive investigation into Gore Orphanage a couple years back.
Oh, cool.
And know probably about as much as you and I combined. So it would be really, really cool to kind of get on there and touch on that subject and see if they know anything more than we do about it. And
especially
go
being
from there.
Local, that would be awesome. That'd be fucking sweet. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so we got some big things coming.
Kinds of things,
we're eventually going to start a Patreon one of these days. One of these days we're going to start that for this.
For anybody who's wondering too about the investigation that TJ and I did. Back on Monday, I went through all of the audio. Okay, the audio, there was no evidence that was picked up on any of the audio from the investigation that TJ and I did.
I got another hour video to watch. Ugh.
And then I turned around and I put it back. And the first time I listened to it with headphones. The second time I put it in, ran it through some software, amplified it a little bit, cleaned it up, and then listened to it again. There was nothing that was really conclusive that I could say about anything that evening. But that doesn't mean that we might not go back. It doesn't mean that we're done with that either. So if anybody was wondering about that, that's where we are with that right now.
I spoke to him yesterday.
Okay.
And would like to get I asked for permission to put some cameras in there and let them run, and he said that was cool to just let him know. So we need to figure that out.
Well, I just need to come back to Sandusky again, and it's in the plans. And we can set up the DVR system there. I got a DVR system that'll cover that small place fairly well. And then we can, even for an entire night, we can go in there and we can talk to them, talk to spirits, and just kind of do a mini investigation and just leave everything roll as we leave. Mm-hmm. We can leave voice recorders in there because they'll record for 27, 28 hours straight before they batteries start getting fluky in them. So. We can do all kinds of stuff. Cool. And so we're not done with that. I want to do it some more justice.
Definitely.
So, and then Bel Air House, obviously, you and Jen are coming up. That's going to be really freaking outstanding fucking time because most of us are going to be in there on Thursday night, which is going to be exciting. So we'll have an entire day, a whole day plus a day and a half before the general public comes to the Bel Air House. So it should be a really good time. So all good things coming. Non-Con 5 at Post Town is still in the go. That's 25th, 26th, and 27th. SilCon September 11th and September 12th, as of right now, is still on. We're not really sure exactly. With everything going on, if those are ever going to get canceled down the road or not. But they're far enough out that we're going to continue to plan for them. So for everybody who's been jonesing for Paracons, the two that I'm involved in are still rolling. Okay, so like I said, non-con at Middletown and SilCon over in Mattoon, Illinois. All right, so it's been another good night, dude. I appreciate it as always having you on the other side of this. I'm Jason Snyder. This is TJ. We are the host of Firelands Podcast. Peace out.
Yeah.